Hi everybody, welcome into the Georgialist Law Firm Stadium. We're here for some junior high football action for the Hempfield Black Knights. They're undefeated, sitting at 6-0. Their final game of the season comes tonight against the Manheim Central Barons. It is a beautiful, crisp autumn night for junior high football. 7th, 8th, and primarily 9th graders make up this team for Hempfield, and we'll see some of these players on the varsity squad next season. Producer tonight is Lance Kim, and my colleague is the varsity team's very own from this past season, Ben Marinas. Ben, this freshman junior high team has had an outstanding year to this point, coming off a big win against Township last week. So what do they need to do to try and finish off this perfect season?
I mean, to be honest, it's simple. Just keep doing what you've been doing. I don't want to discount Manheim Central. They always have quality football programs, but Hempfield has shown themselves to be the cream of the crop of this year's freshman team. Head coach Matt Wagaman, just his second year. So far, he is a combined 12-1 through 2 seasons. Look to make it 13-1 tonight. He's done a great job with this program, and they'd love to finish out this season undefeated.
Trishan Nider kicks it away. He's the kicker for Hempfield. Central will take it on a bounce from about the 27-yard line, and taking that up is Armo Bryson. And Bryson gets it out to the 35-yard line. That's where Central will start. So we've talked about this junior high team. They've had some dominating wins. They've had some close wins. Their first game of the season came against Warwick. They won that one 40-6. They played at Cedar Crest, won that one 36-0. Since then, the score's gotten a little closer. They had a close one against Wilson, 32-26. McCaskey, 28-14. Penn Manor, 21-6. And then the barn burner last Thursday night against Township, 26-20. That one preserved by a late pick by Braden Felsinger, who had a big role in that game, number 18.
And one of the challenges for this freshman team last week, Hempfield teams always, their biggest game of the year is Manheim Township. But just because you beat Manheim Township doesn't mean you can get complacent here before your last game. Manheim Central is a football juggernaut in the area.
Yeah.
They always field solid teams. You can't get complacent and look past this team.
Harbaugh Brady is the quarterback for Central, or at least was on that first play. He turned around and handed it off to number 34, Wade Jaden.
Kasey, I think you might have those names backwards there, buddy. There are no commas on our rosters, so I understand the confusion there.
All right.
We'll let you slide on that one, Kasey.
All right, thanks for catching me. So it was Bryson Arnold on the return. It is Brady Harbaugh at quarterback. You know, that name sounds familiar. It should. Younger brother of Jake Harbaugh, starting running back for the Barons, as that play goes nowhere.
Jake Harbaugh, also the starting defensive end for the Barons. Got to know each other pretty well that game.
Yeah, I think you have a good memory of that one.
Yes.
Rocco Doherty got the ball there. 9-minute quarters for the junior high teams. And we're coming up on 3rd down and 11 from the 34. The Central offense, they've gone backwards so far. It'll be Harbaugh with Doherty alongside him in the backfield. They need the 45. Can Hempfield make a stand on this opening drive? Harbaugh looking long and almost getting it over the outstretched fingers of Landon McGallagher. And I believe that was Gabe Benjamin, number 4, in coverage for Hempfield.
Gabe Benjamin there, almost a costly mistake. Looked like Hempfield was going for a cover 3 type look there. If you're a corner playing cover 3, you really can't let your receiver get outside leverage there. You're dropping deep third, can't let anything behind you or outside of you.
Yeah.
And it almost bit him on that one. Luckily, the throw just a bit too long.
So Central will come on, looks like, to punt here. 4th down and 11.
Central senses blitz. They're going to pack everybody in there, get some extra blockers.
High snap. Benjamin is waiting back deep to return it. It may not get to him. It'll bounce. Benjamin had a muff last week against Township on a very similar play to that. That time he wisely just lets it roll dead down to the 24. Good punt there before Bode Seipel brings it down, or downs the ball for Central. Hempfield's offense will start at the 24, led by freshman quarterback Stephen Catch. Guy who's had a great season to this point.
Yes. Well, Stephen Catch, a star baseball player. He has one heck of an arm on him. He has just been phenomenal so far for this freshman team.
He starts at quarterback, Grant Hoover. That's a name that's familiar, the Hoover name in Hempfield athletics. He starts at running back. He's had a great season as well. But they give it on an end around and a trick play. We saw this last year, and it happens again. Benjamin wide open down the field. And he is going to try and win the foot race, and he will get there. Tony Reed threw it on a double pass. And I believe, Ben, in last year's game, if my memory serves me right, it was at Central. I think they ran the exact same play. It was a throw.
I do believe you are correct
down to
on
Thomas
that one.
Minnick. It went down to about the 5-yard line. This time they go all the way.
Just an excellent play call by Coach Matt Wagman. He knows this Manheim Central team. They love playing man defense. Cornerbacks very aggressive, stop that outside run. There was just nobody to make a tackle on that play. That's as wide open as you will find a receiver at any level of football.
You wouldn't think they'd make that same mistake twice, would they? But Central did there. As the kick is up and good from Niederer. Wow, what a start for Hempfield. So we talked about the season that Stephen Catch has had throwing the ball. Give it to Tony Reed, see what he can do to the running back. And he lets it fly for Gabe Benjamin, who's been their leading receiver.
Concession stand is open this evening. Stop by and grab some.
And then Benjamin, once he got that ball, just turning on the Jets. When you have a big cushion like that and you're a fast kid, nobody is going to catch you. It's a great play all around by everybody there.
Yep. We do not see trick plays all that often, especially at the junior high level, but Coach Wagaman pulling one out of the hat for the second time.
Yes, that play very familiar to me, right out of Coach Ron Zever's playbook. Can't really tell you what the name is because I do not want to give away our secrets here on air. Hopefully, I can keep myself from doing that tonight.
All right. Well, hey, you're a senior. Unfortunately, your playing days are over. But
yes.
But Hempfield, and a lot of these this year freshmen, they'll be sophomores next year. And we saw as here's an end around on the kick return. Harbaugh took it originally. All kinds of trickiness right now from both sides. And that was McGallagher who got it on the reverse on the kick return.
Well executed reverse there. Just great blocking up front. Just left the returner one-on-one. Made a move, got upfield. Just good pursuit angles by Hempfield to try to limit the damage there. Either way, great return for Manheim Central starting at their own 45-yard line.
Yes, that's exactly what they needed. A little bit of a sprinkle has begun to fall here on what had been a pretty nice night to this point. Sun has gone down from under center. It's Harbach handing off up the middle and spinning his way free is Jaden White.
And that's just classic Manheim Central football there. Just up the middle power football. That's been one of their trademarks for years.
Yeah, and it's paid off for them there. You know, I don't know if Brady Harbach has a full ride to Rutgers, but like the varsity QB Evan Simon. But we'll see.
We don't talk about him here.
We'll see what he can do tonight. Starting from under center again. Going to be first down and 10 from the Hempfield 45. And getting it that time on the short handoff was Rocco Doherty.
Almost a modified buck sweep look there. With these freshman teams, maybe not as technically advanced as you see a lot of the high school teams are, so they were unable to get those pulling guards leading around the edge. But just great vision there, just to cut that ball up where it needed to go, get a few yards, and just keep playing. You don't want to see these kids try to bounce it outside and they end up losing 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah.
Good vision there.
Very true. Harbach again from under center. From minimal gain on that play. Met in the backfield is Wade, but he breaks the first few tackles for having to be brought down by the rest of that defensive line. In there was Nick Beck on the tackle, among others. I believe Stephen Catch was in there too.
So far, Manheim Central's done a great job at not going down on first contact. It's taken 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 Black Knight defenders to bring down any of Central's ball carriers so far.
That'll set up 3rd down and 1 here. From the George Ellis Law Firm Stadium, come up to the midway point of quarter number 1. As we said, varsity, they have 12-minute quarters. Junior high only has 9. But a crucial 3rd and 1 here early on. And looks like Was that a timeout taken beforehand? No, flag down.
As Manheim Central tried to draw Hempfield off sides, it ended up biting them. They get called for the false start. Now instead of a very makeable 3rd and a long 1, they're going to be facing 3rd and 6.
Yeah, not what they wanted after having so much momentum on their second drive. After getting stalled out on drive number 1. We've yet to see Central go to the air more than once so far tonight, and that was an incompletion.
You know, Manheim Central, they are not afraid to go to the air. For years now, they've been a very almost pro-style attack, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, and then hit you over the top when you're least expecting it.
Yeah. Here's Harbach. He will throw it. One-on-one coverage again, down there for Benjamin, and he breaks it up. So Gabe Benjamin forced to break it up again. He does a nice job in coverage on McGallagher.
Yes, Manheim Central's strategy thus far looks to be trying to target Benjamin one-on-one down the field. So far, Benjamin 2, Manheim Central nothing.
Yeah. So not only has he burned him on offense, but he's going to lock down defensively as well. And it's going to be 4th down and 6 from the 41-yard line. Pretty clear go-for-it territory. And actually, well, let's see. Thought they were going to go for it originally. Now it looks like they may.
Looks like their offense staying out on the field here.
Yeah, I believe you're right. I thought I saw Harbaugh wasn't going to come back. They made some substitutions. Actually, no, it looks like they will kick it away now.
This is dangerous territory for the Knights. You got to be wary of a fake. You notice they're not putting a return look out there. They are staying in their normal defense.
Yeah.
They're very wary of a fake.
Well, let's see if that's what it is. Low snap. No, they'll kick it away. Line drive. If Central can down it, they'll force Hempfield back, but no, can't get it checked up before it gets to the end zone.
It's a little bit of a bad roll for Central on that one. Just went a little too far. Maybe wanted to get a hop that would slow that ball down a little bit.
Yeah.
Just coming off the hops, a little too much mustard on that ball.
Oh, no, I knew that was
Took it all the way to the end zone.
All righty, so Hempfield, they'll start from the 20 off the touchback. And all right, one play, bang, touchdown. What does drive 2 entail? I assume, I mean, obviously they love every drive to be that way, but I assume maybe they'll get a little more methodical here.
Yes, one of the effects of busting out that trick play early is Manheim Central's defense is on their heels now.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot easier to get them up the middle and off tackle because you have to dedicate more help deep.
Getting it to Benjamin again on a quick screen as they went 5 wide there. For a minimal gain for Benjamin, about gain of 5 there. Call it 2nd and medium upcoming.
Benjamin there, not much room to make anything happen. He was very wide in his splits there, getting out very far towards the sideline, and the defense was able to pursue before they could be cut off by the offensive line there. Yeah. That's just good speed by Manheim Central's defense.
Hempfield's got a lot of playmakers both at running back and at wide receiver. Line up slot to the right is Julian Morales. And he's going to get sent in motion by catch, but they will hand it off to Hoover. And Hoover, who's had a great season trying to keep it going. Guy who I think in a few years we'll see maybe as a starting varsity running back. For now, he's a starting freshman back, and he's done a great job to this point. And he is able to convert, move the sticks, 1st down, Hempfield.
Yeah, so it was a very well-executed play there by this freshman team. Makes me very excited to see that. That play is the bread and butter of our offense. Just a simple zone read concept with a pitch option for the quarterback. They execute it beautifully.
Yeah, that they do. So you got Benjamin out there, you got Morales. They got Reed lined up slot to the right, and then the tight end, Jacob Carcosa, is lined up wide to the right. Catch keeps it, and trying to keep his footing, does a nice job kind of just riding everybody down to about the 37-yard line.
I mentioned earlier about how freshman linemen, a little inexperienced, maybe not as comfortable with pulling. Right there, a counter tray look. You'd love to see linemen pulling on that one. A pulling guard there, even just one, could spring catch for a huge gain.
Yeah.
But with players this young, it's really hard to get that instilled in them.
Yeah, very true. But Hempfield, after that trick play that led to a touchdown, they've gone more methodical this time. This time they give it to Morales. Morales around the end, staying on his feet, but then finally brought down past the 40-yard line.
Hempfield right now showing a very clear strategy. They are trying to get to the outside, get their athletes in space, and thus far it's been working beautifully for the Knights.
Yeah. Not a huge gain, but they didn't need that. Took up the 1st down and moved the chains once more. Ball at the 43 now. And I think you're beginning to see why this Hempfield Black Knights team, the junior high Black Knights, are 6-0. And a win tonight.
Knock on wood real quick.
Knock on wood real quick. But a win tonight would complete that perfect season. That's something I know that Coach Wagaman and all these players, they strive for. There's no playoffs in junior high, so perfect season, it's about as good as you can get. Nice throw
Beautiful
on the run from catch to Morales, and Morales gets it out across the 42-yard line for another first.
You know, varsity head coach Ron Zieber is on the sidelines here for this freshman game.
Yeah.
He has to love that throw right there.
Yeah.
That's a play that we run not nearly enough on varsity, but sometimes. It's a throw that you have to be able to make to play quarterback at the next level, and catch put it right on the money.
Fair. Coach Zieber doesn't often get the opportunity to come to these games, but with the varsity season over, he does get the opportunity to kind of scout out the future talent and the sophomores that'll be on this team next year. A little triple option play, and they give it to Hoover, who is just so slippery. It's almost impossible to bring him down off the first tackle, and took about 2 or 3 tries before Central finally got him down after a minimal gain.
Yeah, great play design there by Coach Wagaman, just sending his receiver just jet motion across, and then running Hoover on an inside zone back across the formation there. It didn't quite look like an option there. It just looked like straight handoff to Hoover, get guys blocking downfield, get the linebackers flowing with the motion, and it worked very well.
It has. They got Benjamin wide to the left. Carcosa is wide right. And again, it's catch and Hoover, that freshman backfield. They give it to Hoover once again, trying to plant his foot, get to the outside, does a nice job cutting it down to the 25.
Great blocking around the edge there, especially by left tackle number 44, Connor Wilden. Just did a great job getting his man turned, and Hoover could just take off, use his speed, get around, and that's a big gain for the Knights.
Yeah, I know, Ben. You're definitely gonna be dishing out some love to that offensive line, and rightfully so, as a left tackle at the varsity level, and kind of key everyone in how important it is for those linemen, because we talk about it all the time. Everyone focuses on the playmakers. If the quarterback and they're not performing well, the running back's not doing well, a lot of times that has at least a little bit to do with how the offensive line is playing.
It's very simple. No offensive line, you can't do anything.
Yep.
An amazing offensive line with average running backs is going to mean a prolific offense. But great running backs with a bad O-line, you end up with what we saw a few years ago before they had Jameis Winston, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They had one of the worst offensive lines ever assembled, and they were in a position to draft number 1 overall.
Yep. And the jury's still out on whether or not that paid off for them, but
it did not.
That's a story for another day. Catch just overshot Morales there down the seam.
I love the confidence there by Catch, though. Not afraid to take a shot deep.
Yeah.
This is probably, a lot of these kids, it's their first time playing under the lights, or at least their first time at this level playing under the lights. Not gun shy at all. No. They are going at it.
First time here at the Firm. They had a night game against Penn Manor and then one against Township, but yeah, this is the first time they've played here at home, and that's definitely a different feeling, different energy. Catch. Fires on a screen to Hoover, who is able to cut his way inside. He's going to get the first. And Grant Hoover putting on the moves.
What a block there by number 77, Lowshine Stewart.
Oh, you were bragging to me about him off air.
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
Bringing us in a little bit on him.
Yes, we varsity offensive linemen, we saw this kid come out for freshman, and we all thought, oh my goodness, this kid better be a player. And he's showing there the speed. He got out there about 6-7 yards downfield, made a key block there, and it took that from a 5-yard gain to a much bigger play there. That's just an excellent job by Stewart.
Yeah, great job. Nice block, and then Hoover get him space, and he'll do the rest. And that's how quarter number 1 ends. 7-0 Hempfield, but they're driving down into the red zone. That's where they'll start quarter number 2. It's been a steady sprinkle here, but nothing too severe to this point.
Almost a soothing mist here.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, Hempfield offense, this is a team that I think you can tell Coach Wagaman does a great job just instilling values, instilling hard work, and really it's just a matter of great game planning and everyone doing their job, and that's why this Hempfield Black Knights junior high team is sitting undefeated right now with a chance to maybe cap a perfect season in 27 minutes of game time.
Yes, this team, you can tell they have bought into Coach Wagaman and his system here. Everybody executing, everybody doing their job, everybody having fun out there.
Yeah.
You can just see the energy that the Knights have. This is a well-coached, football team with a lot of excellent athletes on it, and with that combination, success is going to come.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So they will swap ends. Ball is at the 15. Actually, call about the 14 and a quarter line. And catch. Got Hoover flanking him to the right. 4 receivers in the game for the first time tonight is Aiden Shorter at a wide out, but they give it to Hoover up the middle for a short, about 4-yard gain. So nice job there by Central, trying to hold a little bit. Bend but don't break. Classic defensive strategy or philosophy, I guess you could say.
Yes, young blockers do tend to struggle to get to the second level, so a lot of times it is those linebackers making plays for 4-yard gains, or it's the running backs making guys miss at the linebacker position to go the distance. And so far, Manheim Central's linebackers, for the most part, have done a good job bottling things up for minimal gains.
And off Hoover to the outside. Can he cut it to the end zone? He's going to get a push, and he got to the pylon.
Excellent balance there by Hoover. Looked like he was going down or out of bounds at about the 4, able to stay on his feet and power his way through the end zone. You know, on an inside zone play like that, it is rarely advisable to bounce it outside there. But that was the perfect time to do it. The defensive end pinched, and Hoover was able to find some green space outside, and it ends in a touchdown for the Knights.
Give some credit to Aiden Shorter. He was out there blocking and almost helped push him into the end zone with all the other Central players that were trying to bring him down, as Kreider is up, and I don't think he made it. No good. So the advantage remains 13-0, but with 8:16 to go in quarter number 2, that's pretty solid for these Black Knights to this point. 2 for 2, putting it in the end zone on their offensive drive. So for Manheim Central, I mean, obviously a rebound, it needs to come. But what do you think is the strategy of doing that? We've seen them take a couple deep shots at the end of drives. Do you think maybe they need to get a little more aggressive, or maybe start changing the plays a little bit?
Yes, they definitely need to start getting more aggressive here. We've only seen them throw the ball when they've really needed to on third down situations. If I'm Central's coach, I'm going out here, I'm calling, maybe not go deep, but I'm calling an intermediate level pass play to start this drive, try to catch Hempfield's defense off guard. You've lulled them into a bit of a sense of security that you're going to run it up the middle on first down, as they've done all game. Maybe you can catch them with some play action here.
We shall see if they can do something just like that. Kreider will kick it away. And back deep to return is McGallagher and Bode Seipel. And McGallagher will take it from about the 16-yard line.
No reverse on this one.
No, not this time. And a nice tackle there, brought down. And that was, trying to get a look at the number here. I believe that was,
Looked like number 84, Carson Osborne, perhaps?
he was in there. I think too was Anthony Snyder, number 25. I think he also made a play on that. Nice job there to force the tackle, and Central will start at their own 28. Under the Wednesday night lights of the Hempfield High School Georgia Lewis Law Firm Stadium. Again, they come with that 2-back set, and they hand it off. And a nice stuff up the middle as they hand it off to Rocco Doherty for a short gain.
And here's some of these fans yelling at him. At the Hempfield side, it's good yelling, though. It's keep it up, guys, keep it up. And you love hearing that from parents, very supportive of their kids out there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They like what they've seen so far. They've got every reason to be happy about what they've seen so far.
Maybe not punching him, but
we don't want you out here enticing more fights. We had enough of that at Powder Puff. Oh boy, we kid because we care.
yes.
Doherty again to the left side. Short gain, gonna be 3rd and I believe 8 upcoming. No, 3rd and 5 upcoming. They need the 38-yard line. They're at the 33.
So Manheim Central, they came out sticking to their guns a little bit. They haven't quite been working. Just run up the middle to start this drive again. Now they're in shotgun. They're going to have to throw this ball probably on 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, well, we'll see. They've taken some shots on 3rd down so far. And off play action, they'll do it again. Harbaugh taking another shot, and a jump ball is I believe incomplete is what they call, to McGallagher in double coverage there with Benjamin
I believe they're
and Andy
saying
Garcia.
he caught that
or did
ball,
he catch
Kasey.
it?
Excellent catch.
I was
there.
going to say, I couldn't tell. But yeah, I believe he just brought it in. Might have, I thought, gotten knocked out by either Benjamin or Garcia, but yeah, Landon McGallagher. Great catch in double coverage.
Yeah, making an athletic play, going up, high pointing that ball, keeping the ball through contact. That is advanced wide receiver play there by Landon McGallagher.
And Central on the varsity side had one of the best in the LL League in Colby Wagner this season. Big hole up the middle and then blown up again by Snyder was Jaden Waite.
Snyder there, great job filling for the run, just coming up, attacking. One of the things our coach would say all the time is eyes through the thighs. So when you get your pad level low and hit them right in the thigh pads. Excellent form tackling there by the Knights.
Yeah, nice job. But Central finally getting some momentum going. 2nd and 2. Ball's at the 44 of Hempfield. Toss. Back to Dougherty. But staying on his feet enough for the first, past the 40 before being brought down at about the 38-yard line. Enough to move the sticks, give Central a first down as they try to call their way back in this one, down by 13.
One thing I'm noticing, Manheim Central really looks like they've game planned, especially for defensive end number 44, Connor Wilden. Called his name a little bit on offense, but very rare you see freshman linemen cutting, but they have been using it effectively tonight, and it has slowed down Wilden thus far.
Well, it's worked to this point, no doubt. Let's see. Again, they've got two backs. Harbach. Hands off. They're trying to forklift the ball carrier, who was Waite. One of the defenders there on that defensive line may have been number 81, Carcosa again, who also plays tight end on offense.
That's good job by Manheim Central there. They're starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm. They're getting their running backs a little tighter to the offensive line, getting quicker, hitting plays up the middle. Hempfield running a very unorthodox 3-5 defense. The way you typically would attack them is running right through the guards.
They faked the hit off, but nobody was fooled. And Wilbin, who you were talking about earlier, gets in there and blows that play up. What a job by Connor Wilden.
Yes, you'd hate to be the running back on that one. Looks like they were leaving Wilden unblocked, maybe to try to kick him with somebody. Whoever it was supposed to be did not get there in time. He just blew that play up in the backfield, along with 2 or 3 other Black Knights.
Yeah, perfect job there. 3rd down and 9 upcoming. All of a sudden, we're all the way down nearly to 4 minutes in the half. And of course, the Black Knights get it to start half number 2, so imperative the Central gets something on the board here. Off of play action, firing down the middle and incomplete. Just overshot his receiver, Kalen Watt.
Watt there, perhaps a bit of a rookie mistake. He couldn't quite see the ball too well. Didn't quite know how to high point it, but also going up with one hand. That is something wide receiver coaches cannot stand out of young receivers, but it's a habit that a lot of them have. You know, every kid wants to be like Odell Beckham Jr., making those spectacular one-handed catches, but it's a bad habit for a lot of kids.
It's a lot easier said than done, or seen than done. And sometimes in the mist too, I wonder if maybe that makes it a little tougher to track the ball when you've got, not a heavy rain, not even really a rain falling, but it's just a missed couple drops here and there. And sometimes that can distract you a little bit. As here's Harbach, gonna bootleg to the left and then get chased out after a short gain.
Not the play Central was looking for there on 4th down.
No.
Definitely needed to get rid of that ball. Harbach had nowhere to go with it.
Yeah.
Just had to run, get a few yards, but he was nowhere near the first down on that one.
That's a turnover on downs. They were about 6 yards short, were the Barons, and the Black Knights get it back now with the chance maybe to double up entering the locker room. And we'll see Cody Garris coming at quarterback. We've seen Coach Wagaman throughout, I think, every game this season. We've seen Garris come in for at least a drive or two. They like to get both quarterbacks, both Catch and Garris, both freshmen, involved in the offense. So here's Garris's chance.
Yes, you love to see substitutions on freshmen because really, nobody cares what the freshman team's record is. It's all about developing these kids, and you care much more about their record their senior year of high school.
Oh, here's Hoover! Big hole, and just gets tripped up right at the end as it was, I believe, Waite over there, the running back on the other side, cleaning up, but not before a big gain.
saw maybe some of the conditions coming into play there. It looked like Hoover tried to plant his foot, make a move deep downfield there, and just slipped.
Yeah.
Conditions, while it's not raining hard, it has been steadily drizzling here for a while. Playing surface is going to start to get slick here for these players.
No doubt. But they get it back into Central territory. Ball sits at the 46-yard line. Garrison Hoover in the backfield. And again, handoff, Hoover cutting his way, juking his way. Awesome vision, and he gets to the outside. There's a flag comes flying in late. After Hoover had already cut it outside, down to about the 25.
Looks like in the area of holding or a block in the back, perhaps.
Yeah, one of the two may negate at least some of that gain for Hempfield.
Yes, costly thing, both of those penalties not assessed from the end of the run, assessed from the spot of the foul. This would give Hempfield first and more than 10 yards if this were holding or a block in the back.
Yeah. So we shall see. Not just Hempfield Junior High football players, but also Hempfield Junior High cheerleaders, part of the team here, and they try to keep the crowd energized and pumped up as Hempfield is moving back now. And it looks like a holding call against Hempfield. It's going to push it way back, and Coach Wogman wants a little bit of an explanation, gets it. Not sure if he's too happy, but he'll move on. Going to be, let's see, first down and 15, I believe.
So here,
48.
Wogman unhappy with that call. I'm feeling kind of the way he is. I didn't see any blatant holding there. It looks like a lot of guys using their hands, but they had their hands inside. That is something you do not see called a hold.
Yeah. Garris fires, quick screen out there to Carcosa, and it gets back to about the original line of scrimmage and down marker. So that's got to be something for Hempfield. When you have two quarterbacks who have the ability to throw, we know Catch is the guy, he's gotten the starts, but Garris has come in, as I've said, basically every game, I think, this season, and he's had a couple touchdown drives, and now let's just see how he can command this offense.
Thus far, other than the penalty, he's looked very effective in their quarterback.
Yeah.
And you can see he's taking control of the huddle. He's showing confidence. These guys clearly believe in him, just as they believe in Catch.
Yeah. And hey, somebody's got to back up Cam Harbaugh. Going forward as Garris lets it fly. He was hit as he threw it, and it's picked off. As everybody was able to cut under it, it is intercepted by Kalen Watt. He's brought down by Stewart there on the play, and
Sorry.
Go ahead.
That return is going to be negated by a blatant block in the back there. I couldn't catch the number, but that is as blatant as it gets. That's just a rookie mistake there. When you have a big play, you can't be pushing people in the back.
We've seen that. We see that all the time, not just at this level, not just at varsity. We see it at college, we see it at the pros. Blocks in the back are like a virus sometimes. And it's going to negate some of that return, but they do get the turnover, and that is just what Central needed to stay in this game. Maybe a bit of an ill-advised decision there by Garris, as it looks like he had pressure coming, a bit of a wobbly ball. Tried to get it down there to Benjamin, and if he had been able to get a little bit more on it, maybe it would have worked, but by the time he just kind of hung it up there to float, there were three Central defenders all there waiting for it.
Yeah. One of the great sayings you hear a lot from youth football coaches is the hardest throw a young quarterback can make is deciding to either not throw the ball or to just throw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
Very difficult to just give up on a play and just live to see another down. You see a lot of times quarterbacks, especially young ones, when they face pressure, are just going to throw a jump ball. Sometimes it works out for them, but right there it did not. And Manheim Central, with a little bit of momentum now, looking to score before the half.
That goes down as basically a 19-yard penalty. The return had gone out to the 36, but the penalty pushes it all the way back to the 17. And Central's got a 83-yard field in front of them and 2 minutes and 11 seconds to try and venture across it. So we'll see if they can do that. And I guess, Ben, you can call this a little 2-minute drill here. Central, I believe, still having all three timeouts.
Yes. Yep. You mentioned a lot, these kids, they don't have a ton of time to learn all this stuff. So a 2-minute drill is often something that teams don't work on. Perhaps deep in the season, maybe they've had a little bit of time to drill it, but you cannot get comfortable with a 2-minute drill at this level.
And off up the middle, it was blown up by Carcosa and Alex Lohr. Another guy we didn't mention before tonight, or at any time before that play, but he's in there in that center of that defensive line. A lot of these players play on both sides, even for Hempfield, a team that has a lot of depth at the junior high level. You look, they've outnumbered pretty much every team they've played at the junior high level so far this season. And that continues here as the toss play goes to Rocco Doherty. But Ben, I'll ask you, when you got so many players on the junior high, not only does that help keep some playmakers energized and fresh, but it's just a greater talent pool to kind of, pull from, I guess.
Yes, it is so vital for the success of programs that you have a thriving freshman team. Because if you get a lot of kids out for freshmen, they have a good year, they have a lot of fun, they have a lot of success, they're more likely to come out
They're going to
for the
want to keep doing
varsity team as
it.
sophomores. And if you just get numbers, just a lot of kids out there, eventually good things are going to happen.
Central is in no hurry here, down deep in their own territory. Clock is ticking down, under 50 seconds to go. And maybe that's for the best. 3rd and 10 upcoming. They don't want to give Hempfield another chance here before the end of the half, but Harbach will look, and he's going to go down. Brought down on the play by Reed and by Carcosa in there again.
Reed, an excellent job there, going straight for the throwing arm, not trying to let him get a sneaky ball away, just like a rocket getting through there, getting the sack. Excellent job there by the Knights.
Yes, great job there. And I believe the Black Knights called a timeout there, as they smell blood in the water with the ball all the way back at the 8-yard line for this coming punt in the 4th and 19. And I know Coach Wagaman, that gets the wheels turning a little bit. He thinks, hey, we can get this ball back in our own territory and maybe put it in before the end of the half still, even after the interception thrown by Garris.
And more than that, with the ball at their own 9-yard line, the punter for Manheim Central is going to be kicking this ball out of his own end zone.
Yeah.
We've seen the snaps thus far have been a bit shaky. I would not be surprised to see Wagaman really send the house, try to block this kick, or perhaps get a safety here.
Tell us a little bit about the duties of a long snapper, Ben.
The art of long snapping. It looks so simple.
Yeah,
and
it's
on
an
paper,
underappreciated art for sure.
Yes, and for guys this young, a lot of times you don't long snap in midget football. You very rarely do. There are a lot of rules where it's very low pressure. You're not facing a big blitz most of the time. But then you get up to freshman, and it is just full go, and it's very hard to make that transition. I can tell you, when I was a freshman, I was terrible. Well, if I could snap the way this kid from Manheim Central could, I would have been elated.
Well, you got better as the years went on. As just getting it away. It's a high kick. It's going to take a great central bounce, though. As it bounced down inside the 30, goes all the way out to the 45. Nice punt by Hunter Gruhl, just to get it out of there, first of all, and then take a nice bounce. 24 seconds to go, and Hempfield's got 45 yards to pay dirt.
That's 3 punts so far, 3 great bounces for Manheim Central. Maybe one bounced a little further than they would have liked, but they are getting these bounces to go downfield. That's something Manheim Central punters have done for years now. They don't often have the strongest legs, but they just get that ball to roll and roll and roll. And at that point, most returners are taught if it bounces twice, you're not to touch it.
Yeah.
So if you can get that ball on the ground rolling and rolling for another 20 yards, that's huge.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Alrighty, let's see what the Black Knights can do. 24 seconds to play. Can they add to this lead before halftime? The leg lift sends Hoover in motion. Catches looking his way, but then dumps it over the middle to Reed. And Reed able to evade a tackle, stay on his feet. He's still running. What a powerful run after the catch by Tony Reed, all the way down inside the 25. And Hempfield takes another timeout, their second.
You can see Coach Zieber down there looking on approvingly. I can't tell you, that's not a play we typically will run at the varsity level. That is straight out of Wagaman's own imagination. Got to think maybe that play can make it into the playbook for next year.
It might be in the varsity playbook this time next season.
Yes. Bit of a variation on something we might run.
Yeah. I was just thinking that you guys have run a similar play almost kind of to Jaden Jimenez in the past.
Yes.
But a little bit of a different look there, and it paid off. Reed doing the rest on the run after the catch.
That play was all Reed there as well. It was a great job by Ketch looking off the defense, getting everybody to flow with the bubble and coming back. But the offensive lineman downfield, not used to blocking in space downfield like that, didn't really get a piece of anybody, but Reed making guys miss, just getting downfield, getting big yardage for the Knights.
And the quarterback's eyes are so important too. If you can get the defense to bite one way, just based off where your head's going, your body motion, your language, I mean, that's why we see the no-look pass maybe become a little more of a, I won't say common art, but maybe successful in a way. If you can just fake the defense out a little bit, try and force your guys open, or at least in one-on-one situations, that's very crucial.
Yes, especially against a man coverage heavy team. A lot of times your safeties are just reading the quarterback's eyes. You can look those guys off. You're going to find a lot more open field to throw to.
Everybody going deep. Catch going for Morales in the end zone, broken up.
Well executed cover 4 there by
Sonny.
Manheim Central. Just getting everybody deep, not wanting to allow a touchdown.
Sonny Callahan got there to break it up with 6 ticks of the clock to go. As Wagaman sent 4 people deep there. Catch like the matchup he had with Morales. Now with 6 seconds left, got 1, maybe 2 more plays, probably not in field goal range. And now Hempfield will take their final timeout. So odds are this will be the last play of the half, barring anything quick, incomplete, or out of bounds.
It's at the freshman level, you don't normally see field goals attempted.
No.
I've known Tristan Niederer, the kicker for the Knights, for a long time. He has consistently been a very advanced kicker for his age.
He has.
But from this distance, I mean, this would be, it looks like almost a 40-yard field goal. I don't think there's any freshman who's going to be hitting that. But if they can maybe get 10, 15 yards and get out of bounds here, that could be well within Niederer's range.
Well, Niederer, Hempfield very early on in the season, I know it's a short season, only 7 games for the junior high team, but first couple games, they were very reluctant to send Niederer out there and kick some field goals. Past couple games, they've had more of a tendency to send him out in situations where it's maybe inside the 10, 20-yard line and give him at least a chance to see if he can put it through. And so, don't count that out, but Hempfield's got to find a way to get completion out of bounds for that to even come into play.
As if you're a head coach, one of the scariest propositions is relying on a kicker to hit long field goals.
Yeah.
You'd much rather just put this ball in the end zone.
Chicago Bears will tell you all about that.
Double doink.
Among other things. Here's catch rolling. Has a lot of time.
Excellent protection up front.
Great protection, trying to direct traffic, throws, and it's picked in the end zone as Catch was trying to make something happen. I believe it was Harbach who picked it off, and I believe he was going for 8 inches shorter on the play. Catch knew he had time running out on the clock, and so he just tried to extend the play as long as he could and try and get in there to one of his playmakers. The result doesn't look pretty, but nothing really lost there for Hempfield with that interception.
Yeah, so you can see what they were trying to set up there, just running all the receivers off to the left and Hoover sneaking out late on a wheel route. But Manheim Central safeties were ready. They were on him. A catch just trying to buy some time, a last-second desperation heave. And really that interception there doesn't hurt anything except the stat sheet.
Yep. And as you said, I don't think the stat sheet will be too important after tonight. Alrighty, it's been a first half, great first half from the George Lewis Law Firm Stadium, 13-0. Black Knights up over Central, trying to keep their undefeated season alive. They get the ball to start half number 2. My colleague Ben Marinas, producer Lance Kim will be back in just a few minutes for the second half. Hi everybody, welcome back to the George Lewis Law Firm Stadium and ready to kick off for half number 2 of action. The Hempfield Black Knights are 18 minutes and 13 points away from maybe a perfect season at 7-0. But we'll see if they can stave off what would be a comeback by Central, as it's Bode Seipel to kick it away. Low hang kick taken by the up man. That was Snyder up the middle. Nice return out to the 48-yard line. So, Ben, I'll bring you in. Halftime adjustments, we'll start with that. Hempfield, I mean, sure they had 2 turnovers in the first half. One was basically a throwaway. The other, I mean, you can make an argument either way. But this Hempfield offense has looked pretty sharp so far.
If you're Hempfield's offense, just keep running the ball. It's been working a lot. You run it up the middle, mix in some short passes. The screen game's been working great for them. A little bit of misdirection on the screens. Linebackers and defensive backs are biting on fakes thus far.
Yes.
You keep making them bite and keep gashing this defense.
Yeah. And speaking of gashing the defense, there's Grant Hoover. He is like a joystick through the middle of any defense he faces. And he continues there with a first down.
Yes, Hoover just so slippery. He's got great footwork, great power, great vision. great speed. He is just an excellent running back.
So I guess for the Barons, I mean, you just got to try and find some way to contain this offense. It's been tough so far. But, I mean, aside from the play at the very beginning of the game, the trick play that went for 7, I mean, they really haven't gotten a ton going on offense. But every drive they've had has been long, sustained. And we have runs like that with Hoover cutting the other way. Well, maybe that'll change.
Now, I always grew up about an age group or two ahead of Hoover. And the way we'd play games would be the older kids go first and the younger guys. We'd all love to stay and watch what Grant Hoover would do because he is just so fun to watch, so electric with the ball in his hands.
Well, of course, his brother is Gordy, who starts on defense, led the Black Knights in sacks this past season.
With one hand.
With one hand for a good part of it. As Hoover bouncing outside again! Can he get to the pylon? He will, I believe, or well, let's see. That's going to get ruled as a touchback. A fumble through the end zone by Grant Hoover. It's going to go as a touchback.
Oh, a costly mistake there by Hoover. It has still continued to rain, maybe gotten a little bit harder. It's hard to hold on to the ball there. If we could talk for a second about Caleb Mussman, the right tackle there. Yeah. Great block to spring Hoover.
Oh, man,
but just a costly mistake there.
That's a killer. Third turnover in as many drives for the Black Knights, and it's kept Central in this game to this point. They had a chance maybe to borderline put it away.
That's a 3-touchdown lead in such a short game as freshman football is, would be huge for the Knights.
Yes.
Now they're going to have to call on their defense again. Thus far, their defense has been up to the task of stopping the Barons.
We have not seen Grant Hoover make many mistakes this season, but that was one of them. As he tried to cut it all the way to the pylon, but had the ball punched out. And fumbles, rolls through the end zone before he can get there. But getting tripped up on the handoff is Doherty.
Listen, fumbles are just an unfortunate fact of football. They happen to the best of them. I mean, Emmett Smith fumbled, Barry Sanders fumbled, all the way down to little 6-year-olds playing Pee-wee football. They fumble too. It's just something that happens. It's all about how you respond to the fumble. And for defenses, this is one of the toughest things for you. It's a quick change. You're not ready, and you're called into action. It's okay. Make a stop.
It's not always easy to hold on to an oddly pieced shape of chunk of pigskin. But we'll see. Flag down, and I believe moving along the central line.
Yeah, Hempfield's D-line knew it as soon as it happened. They got up and started clapping. That's twice now Manheim Central has tried to go for a hard count and ended up with a false start penalty. They have not gotten Hempfield to jump yet. Great discipline shown by these young men.
Yes. It's gotten a little chillier out here. The rain has begun to fall a little bit harder. It's mainly a mist at this point. Still some raindrops coming down, though. Can Central and Hempfield's perfect season, they're trying to get back in this and get something going, and they may have it on a quick little screen to Seipel, who gets it out to about the 25. That was on 3rd and long, though, and that's going to set up 4th and short, and you wonder, will they bring the punting unit out here? Or will they dare go for it?
I believe that was 2nd and long. Kasey's 3rd down now.
Oh, yeah, you're correct.
Bit of a mess up there on the part of the scoreboard. Got a little overzealous.
Yeah, it happens.
That's happened to the best of us.
They actually bring a new ball in now. But yes, the down and distance, the down marker says 3rd, and the scoreboard now matches 3rd and 4. So Central's got 2 downs to work with. You wonder, though, if this would be 4-down territory, depending on how close they get, even from this deep in their own territory, knowing they need 2 touchdowns.
You got to think of 4th and 3 or less.
Well, they might not have to worry about it getting outside. Will he get the first? That is Callahan again, who slipped a tackle or 2 and then got very close, and I believe he will move the sticks just barely down to the 30-yard line.
Even though he couldn't quite bring him down before the 1st down marker, Jacob Karkoska there on the tackle, a nice hawk roll there. You know, high school coaches would love to see, they love to see that great technique there that a lot of young guys don't possess.
Yeah. Now there is, oh no, they're just, looks like running.
It's like an injury over on Manheim Central's sideline.
There was something on the field, but somebody down on the Central sideline. They'll go over 10 to him. Now play will resume.
As for freshman football games, oftentimes the visiting team will not bring any training staff. The home training staff will have to care for both teams.
Yeah. Nice, powerful run up the middle there by Waite. For a gain of about 8 on first down. You know, defensively, I'm sure it's hard when your offense is turning the ball over 3 straight possessions. It's probably gets tough at a point to stay out there and just keep holding. But so far, Hempfield, I mean, hasn't been perfect. It's second and short right now, but they at least haven't given up any big chunks, it seems like, to Central to this point.
Yes, they stay disciplined. Central has moved the ball, but they haven't had, as you said, that big 25, 30-yard play that's really demoralizing to a defense.
Yeah.
But you can definitely see fatigue is starting to set in for Hempfield's defense, especially the kids who are playing on both offense and defense.
Handoff there blown up by about 3 or 4 Black Knights as the handoff was to Waite.
Like 81 Karkoska might have been the first
Karkoska
one
was
there.
in there.
There were 4 or 5 Knights in there, just making a pile.
Karkoska, Wilden were in there, among others. One name we haven't called tonight is number 18, Braden Felsinger, who had an outstanding game against Township last weekend. I believe he had 3 turnovers. It was either 3 interceptions or 2 picks and a blocked punt. I don't remember entirely off the top of my head. What I do remember is he had the pick at the very end of the game to seal it for Hempfield in that dramatic game against Township last Thursday night. But we haven't called his name tonight, and I don't think he's out there right now. We'll see if he comes in later.
So on the last play, the big man there, number 60, Connor Kirsch, pulling a Kasey on that one, trying to pull around there on the toss, just couldn't quite get the edge there. Running back had to cut that ball up prematurely right into the teeth of a hotly pursuing Hempfield defense.
Yeah, no doubt. It happens, don't worry. It is 4th down and 4.
They have run hard count on all of these punts so far, trying to get Hempfield to jump.
Benjamin is standing at his 26, but they will kick it away. Let's see if it gets that bounce again. It looks like it will. Benjamin's going to let it roll dead down to the 29-yard line before it gets stopped dead. So with 3 minutes to go in the third, Hempfield preserving this 13-0 lead. They've moved the ball, they've had the turnovers, but if they get a strike here in the end zone, that might all but end it for Hempfield coming down to the end of this third quarter.
Yes, if they're able to burn clock here, get down to almost the end of the third or even into the early parts of the fourth quarter and then punch this ball in the end zone, you hate to say it's over that early, but that would be a very huge obstacle for Manheim Central to overcome.
Central, I don't believe, has been in the red zone this game to this point for Hempfield. So yeah, they haven't been able to move the ball that far. As Catch takes it himself, running up the middle. Flag is down as Catch spins his way. He gets twisted down to the 41-yard line, but let's see the flag.
Good strong run there by Catch. Just cutting it up, running, not afraid to run it between the tackles, put his shoulder down and get some yards there.
Yeah.
Showing wisdom beyond his years is number 8, Stephen Catch.
But ball is going to be pushed back after the penalty. I believe it was a holding call there on Hempfield. It's going to push it back all the way to the 21-yard line.
Yes, didn't quite have the angle to see exactly where that one was. There was a big throng of players in the middle there. You have to imagine perhaps a defensive lineman trying to scrape off a block and make a tackle, and as an offensive lineman, your first instinct is to just grab a hold of them. That's one of the easiest holding calls you can make as an official. And
sometimes when a quarterback starts to scramble around, make plays like that, that can kind of open up that situation where maybe a team is more prone to get an offensive holding call when that defender tries to pull away. And there's an injured player down for Central now after that first down carry by Hoover. And now getting to his feet is Owen Yost.
Almost running away from the athletic trainers there. He wants to play.
Yeah, he does, no doubt. But they're going to make him get back down, and not sure what the exact injury is there, but he's going to go down, and that's Hempfield medical staff will tend to him.
This looked like a lower leg injury from the way he was favoring it.
Yeah. So both sides will come back, regroup a little bit. Coach Longman trying to keep this Hempfield team in it. This has not been obviously their cleanest game, but yet they are up, and in these slightly adverse elements, they've done a nice job.
It's been an excellent job by Coach Wagaman. They had a game plan, they've executed it, they hit a few bumps in the road, but when you start off as strong as the Black Knights did, you can sometimes afford a bump in the road or two. Yeah. Their defense has really been up to the challenge thus far. Yeah,
that they have, and getting off with a bit of a limp is Yost, and they're gonna ease him over to the sideline, and then they'll attend to him. I mentioned it earlier, Hempfield, they have such a large junior high team. A lot of the other schools, they don't have as much depth at the junior high level, so an injury like that, it can be significant, and it can take out a key playmaker on both sides of the ball.
Yes, Hempfield's freshman teams, for several years now, they've gone 3-4 guys deep across the board. Manheim Central would be lucky to go 2 deep at every position. They do not have the numbers to sustain injuries.
Catch keeping it with a lot of room to run.
Downfield.
Oh, yeah. That is Aiden Shorter who was down there blocking at the receiver spot, and then you had Stort down there as well. But Catch does an excellent job moving the chains on 2nd and long.
You mentioned earlier how Grant Hoover, the younger brother of Gordy Hoover, might recognize the name Shorter.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Devin Shorter, a linebacker for the varsity squad, known for his tenacity out there. His brother Aiden showing that same tenacity on that block. They're blocking 10, 15 yards downfield even.
Yeah, Shorter and Hoover, two last names you recognize at the Hempfield Athletics level. Here is Hoover getting the handoff, slipping a tackle, and Grant Hoover trying to show that burst of speed before being brought down by Watt.
Saw there Hoover just running through arm tackles around the edge. Wasn't the cleanest blocking out there, but got just enough of those guys, and Hoover's able to run through them.
I'll tell you what, this guy's going to be something.
Yes, I get excited watching Grant Hoover run that ball.
Talk about Tanner Hess, one of the guys who'll be a senior next year. They got Anthony Draghi back. If they can add Grant Hoover in, even as a sophomore next year, man, watch out.
Yeah, that team could be dangerous the way they could run the football next year.
Yeah. This time, Catch keeps it. Running right. Short gain, but keeping the legs turning down to the 10-yard line.
That's just great effort there by Catch. As you said, keeping the legs moving, running through arm tackles. Even though there were 2 or 3 Barons on him, he still found a way to drive the legs and fall forward for an extra yard there.
Yeah. Catch will come to the sideline. Subbing in for Hempfield is Carson Osborne. He'll come in place of Aiden Shorter. And on 2nd and 3, coming down to about a minute to go in this 3rd quarter.
Pop it in, boys.
Catch from shotgun. Handoff. Hoover with a hole in the middle. Can he get the blocking he needs to get to the end zone? It doesn't matter. He powers his way in. Touchdown, Grant Hoover.
Hoover shows great vision there. It is much easier to block for a running back with great vision. You don't have to worry about turning guys. You just have to get a hat on a hat, as they say, across the board. And Hoover's going to find the hole, find the crease, and that is a touchdown for the Knights.
No doubt, and we'll see if they decide to...
Never mind, it looks like there's a flag on that one.
Oh, you're right. Flag down. It's going to take the touchdown off the board by Hoover. I'll tell you what, in that McCaskey game, I think he had 3 scores wiped out by penalty. Did Hoover, something along those lines. It was insane. Of course, Hempfield still won the game 28-14, but could have been a lot worse if they didn't kind of shoot themselves in the foot.
Yes.
And now it's a similar situation, ball back up to the 20. So evidently some sort of holding call, maybe a block in the back. Backs it up 10 yards.
It looks like it would have been in the area of holding in tight to the line of scrimmage there. You know, when a running back makes a cut and bounces outside, that's one of the times you see holding calls a lot as defenders pursue. As a blocker, you can't see what's happening behind you, so you just kind of have to grab on for dear life and go for the ride.
Well, Hoover's going to get another shot, this time running to the right, staying on his feet, just cutting his way down all the way to the inside the 10. Grant Hoover, you're not going to get him down with just one tackle.
Now, he has shown just incredible ability to not go down on first contact. I mean, we don't have these stats readily available to us right now, but his yards after contact has to be massive thus far.
No doubt. Not just for this game, but for the season. And I think Hempfield will run one more play before the end of the third quarter, as we're ticking down under 15 seconds to go, but I think they'll just snap it one more time. Can they get it in again? 3rd and 2. They need the 7-yard line. Catch, handoff, Hoover, this time from 9 out, and he will knife it again on a very similar play. This time it'll stand. Hempfield scores it again for Grant Hoover.
Excellent blocking out on the edge there by number 82, Jordan Jones. Got the outside backer turned inside. Hoover had nothing but space out there. One-on-one with nothing, basically. Hoover, just great vision, great speed, and sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah. So to end the third quarter, took 2 tries, but Hempfield gets it back on the board. And now, I believe we'll see Hempfield go for 2 here, up by 19, trying to make it a 21-0 game after missing the PAT on the last touchdown. They will chase the 2 points here. With catch, they have 4 receivers, 2 to the right, 2 to the left.
Central showing blitz here off the edge.
Yeah, sending Reed in motion. They get it to Hoover, and Hoover again. That's nearly untouched for the 2. Wow. How about that drive? That was almost all Grant Hoover. And sometimes when you have a playmaker that dynamic, all you got to do is just get in his hands, and it'll pay off, and that'll take us to the end of the third quarter.
Just get the ball to Grant Hoover. Just get guys up front to occupy defenders, and Hoover's going to make something happen.
Oh, no doubt. Great job by Grant Hoover to knife it in there. First from 9 out, and then from 2 out. To make it a 21-0 game with 9 minutes yet to play. Only the fourth quarter remains in this junior high football season for Hempfield. One that has been perfect and may remain perfect if they can hang on for 9 more minutes of gameplay.
So you know this Hempfield team, they've come this far perfect. They'd love to finish this off perfect. And you'd love to keep that 0 up on the board for Manheim Central. If your defensive players have this great mindset, this pride in what they do, that any points against them is an insult to their play.
Well, they only had 1 shutout this season. That was on the road against Cedar Crest when they won that one 32-0. They've got a chance to put up another one tonight. 9 minutes away. Can Central get anything going to get back in this game? Let's see. Squib kick from Niederer.
Good.
Taken and muffed by Seipel, but he's able to pick it up and then get drugged down to 25. Yes. Snyder was in there among others. And Central's offense will take the field down 3 scores.
Well, number 51, Alex Lohr, also was in on that one too. A lot of these Hempfield players have shown excellent form tackling in space. Tackling in space is one of the hardest things to teach guys. It's just so much technique, so many little things working in harmony. Hempfield's done a great job of that so far tonight.
Alrighty. Harbach again from under center. They have to get something going offensively for the Barons. They've been able to move the ball a few times, but they have not been able to get it down, and he lost the ball! Wet ball might have had something to do with that. Nick Beck was trying to beat him to it, but I think Harbach was able to fall back on it for a minimal loss.
So I mentioned the slippery ball earlier with Grant Hoover's fumble. It was like those same elements at play there, and Manheim Central puts it on the ground this time. Luckily for them, they are able to fall on it, though.
Yeah. Ball sits at the 22-yard line. Loss of 4, 2nd and 14 upcoming. Ben, I'll tell you, if Hempfield, if they can finish off this perfect season, I know you had a lot of great memories playing for the junior high and freshman teams coming up through the ranks. I know now your football career is over. What are the moments you look back on from these days playing sometimes under the Wednesday night lights before you played under Friday night lights?
You know, these Wednesday night lights, it's all about just brotherhood and building those skills. You know, you love those moments of victory out there with your brothers because it's a step forward in your progression as a football player.
Yeah.
Winning is a sort of validation that your hard work is paying off. And for these Hempfield kids, their hard work is paying off a lot this season.
Got any specific stories for us?
I remember one of my personal favorite moments of the freshman season. It was after our last game. We were coming in on Friday to watch film of our game. I still remember the exact words Coach Gary Furman, who's since retired, said to us. As we were walking into the locker room, he said, "Take in what we're about to give you, digest it, and make yourself fuller from it." We walk into a room with about 40 boxes of pizza in there.
Perfect.
Yes. A great end to
boy.
a great season.
Had you in the first half, not gonna lie. But nice job there. Yeah, Furman, since retired, he's since been replaced by head coach Matt Wagaman, who in his second season has done an outstanding job with these kids, and it looks like it's gonna pay off with an undefeated, perfect season. Central able to move the ball there a couple times, had a big completion to Kalen Watt a couple plays ago, then a handoff to Jaden White, and now Harbach again fires outside off the fingertips of Rocco Doherty.
Mentioned earlier, Matt Wagaman has done such a great job in such a short amount of time. So it's hard to improve on what Gary Furman did for this program. He was a huge part of a lot of winning seasons for the Hempfield freshman football team. But Matt Wagaman came in and just raised the bar from there, even almost since the day he stepped in.
Yeah.
You know, I've talked to a lot of kids who played football on the freshman team last year. Nobody had a single bad word to say about Coach Wagaman.
Yeah.
His players love him. They all buy into what he's teaching.
And nice tackle for loss there by Andy Garcia.
A blatant hold on the outside there by number 6, Rocco Doherty. Got away with one there.
Got away with it, but it didn't matter. But yeah, you will not find, not just a great coach is Coach Wagaman, but you will not find too many better people in Hempfield athletics than Coach Wagaman.
Yes, just a great
the
man.
field.
Great man. I've never had him as a coach, but I had him as an 8th grade math teacher. Just an excellent guy, Matt Wagaman.
You know, I never had him either in the teaching realm either. I know Lance and Ben to the other side of me both have, and I'm sure they can speak about that, but that's a story for another time. Here's Harbach firing outside, and dropping it is Seipel.
And perhaps the football fates they're smiling down on Hempfield. Maybe that missed holding call there, just to sneak it in one more time, as the great prophet
I knew this
Rasheed
was coming.
Wallace once said, "Ball don't lie."
I knew that was coming before the end of the night.
I got to work it in every time, Kasey.
It's tradition now. Tradition.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Oh.
Why did that have to be the tradition?
Alrighty, down inside 6 minutes. Central, they're driving the ball solidly. They have a first down now.
Well, no, actually, it's Hempfield with the first down. That was fourth down on the drop there.
We were getting in storytelling, got a little sidetracked there. You're correct, though. That was fourth down. That's a big drop on fourth down by Seipel. Now it is a first down for Hempfield, trying to run this clock out. Tony Reed in the backfield with catch. And Reed gets it. And stopped pretty much immediately.
As we started to see Hempfield Hempfield starting to make some substitutions, especially up front. You see number 70, Jehu Young, in there, amongst others, and just not great blocking there on that play. Yeah. It takes you a few plays to settle in, especially if you're coming in cold, haven't played much in a game. That first play or two is probably going to end badly.
Garris comes in the game now at quarterback, but this team, it's largely made up of freshmen, but there are a couple 7th and 8th graders in there, and Young is a 7th grader for this team.
Yes, he is a absolute unit of a 7th grader.
You would not know it by looking at him, but he is the 7th grader, and so he's got a lot of time to develop still, not just on this team, but in hopes of varsity. Is Reed running the wrong way, but then trying to cut it in for a short gain. And
it's getting a little bit chippy.
A little bit chippy here, yeah. These conditions.
A little slow getting off the pile, a little pushing off guys to get up from the pile.
That's just football sometimes.
Yes, it's a nasty game for nasty men.
Very true. Tell you, Ben, you're a Care Bear off the field, but on the field, I know you're a much different animal.
Yes. That's the thing. Once you step on the football field, you put the helmet on. Yeah. You're not you anymore.
You have to become a different person.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could be the nicest person on the planet, but if you go out there looking to shake everybody's hands and be nice to the guy across from you, you're going to end up on the ground and probably injured. You have to have some level of killer instinct in you. You can just flip the switch and just go a little bit crazy.
Yeah, that's saying nice guys finish last. Well, sometimes it's true in the sports world. Not always, but sometimes. Nice out route and a nice completion and a nice spin by Garcia.
Just a well-executed play there. You saw Garcia ran a great route, got the defender to slip on the slick turf out there. He was wide open, a lot of daylight, and he made the most of it.
Yeah, if you can spin like that, look out. And some substitutions in now for Hempfield. Some of the, I'll say, backups coming in. Got number 46, Peter Wenzel in there. Number 15, Kai Stort checks in as well. And it looks like Stort will be in the backfield with Garris for this first down play from the 30 down inside, coming down to 3.5 minutes to go in the game. And Hempfield trying to preserve not only a win and not only their perfect season, but maybe a shutout here. As the handoff goes to Stort, minimal gain up the middle for being brought down. You know, I think, how much pride do you take, Ben? And I know, obviously, for junior high, there's no playoffs, no anything like that. But how much pride do you take in having a perfect season like this?
It's just an incredibly rare thing. A lot of kids who play football never get to have a perfect season. And that's something that nobody can ever take away from you.
Yeah.
I mean, for these guys out here, this is their championship game. This is the state title game to them.
Yeah.
Because this is it. You win this game and you've accomplished your goal for the season.
Yeah. Sending Wenzel in motion, low snap. Garris has to get it off the ground and then has no time to do anything with it before Jaden White got there.
Jaden White there just got right through the line like a heat-seeking missile. You know, when you see ball on the ground, linebackers are taught, go get it.
Yeah.
And he didn't get that ball, but he certainly got the tackle there deep in the backfield.
If you can't get the ball, get the guy holding the ball, and he was able to do that. Third down now and long, upcoming 3rd and 14. But that's not the main factor. Right now, the factor is the fact we've got coming up on 2 minutes to go in this game. And obviously, Hempfield, regardless of how this finishes, they seem to be well on their way to a win tonight at the Firm. Bit of a misty, rainy Firm, but here we are nonetheless. And this freshman team trying to finish it off. Garris fires outside. Pass is caught and going nowhere. Was Cody Campbell. Nice open field tackle there, I believe, by Roland Hoffer. Gonna be 4th down and long upcoming.
And Cody Campbell there, great job catching that ball, but just nowhere to go. Defender was on him almost as soon as he turned to just look upfield.
Yeah.
Not much room for him to make anything happen there.
And they will send, looks like, the punting unit out for this play, and it may be the final offensive play of the season for Hempfield.
The parents giving a standing ovation.
Well, actually, let's see. Do they got Catch out there. I don't know. Actually, I believe Catch does serve as a punter now that I think of it. Catch, obviously, you know, a lot of times this level you maybe don't have a natural kicker or punter. I know Nader, he plays at both tight end, defensive end, and Catch plays at quarterback and linebacker. You don't really have that natural kicking guy. And even at the varsity level, you don't always see a natural kicker. Manheim Central, for example, they didn't have a natural. I know they didn't have a natural punter when that game was played earlier this season. Sometimes you just get it into whoever has the most power in their leg, and apparently that is Stephen Catch.
Yeah, it's one of the go-tos in high school football. If you don't have a natural kicker, you go to the soccer team.
Yeah.
Freshman football, going to the soccer team isn't really an option. You just kind of have to work with what you got.
Yeah.
And Stephen Catch, just a phenomenal all-around athlete, multi-sport star. You have to imagine he'd be more than well-suited for kicking this ball.
Well, we're about to find out. He's going to stand just beyond the midfield stripe. Just behind it. Oh, high snap, really high snap. Catch has to run it down and then gets it away.
Snap
And
very high and to the right there.
Yeah.
Hard to snap a wet ball.
No, it definitely is. And the ball finally rolls dead. Clock will stop with 1:22 to go. That's where Central will take over. And obviously for Manheim Central, they're not going to win tonight, but if they can get a final touchdown drive here to end their season and end this game, I'm sure that'd be something they'd like to see.
Yes, and it looks like Hempfield bringing out their second unit on defense here, trying to get as many kids as possible playing time here to end the season.
Yeah, well, it still is a unit. Got some of the 7th and 8th graders in there now. Elijah Vasquez is one of them, number 1. Playing at cornerback. But let's see, minute 22 to go in this one. Can Central get on the board before this game comes to a conclusion?
You know, for Central, we talked earlier about a point of pride for defenses getting shut out. It's just as much a point of pride for offenses getting points on the board. Even if you're not going to win, it hurts you to get shut out. You know, nobody on that side of the field wants that to happen.
That was a nice catch by Bryson Arnold. New quarterback in the game is Zach Hahn, but Bryson Arnold does a great job bringing that in almost with one hand in these slippery conditions as the ball was thrown out in front of him. In the end, though, it only goes for a 3-yard gain. Down inside a minute. Central will have to run, I believe, at least one more play before this one comes to a conclusion, as the rain just keeps falling a little bit harder.
Yes.
Not perfect for our equipment, but it's not too hard to this point. Going wide down the field, and it's picked off. Intercepted, and that may be how the season will end for Hempfield. Kalani Gonzalez, the freshman cornerback, with the interception there, brings it all the way down to the 10-yard line. And maybe Hempfield will get one more shot to put a cherry on top of a perfect season.
See everybody on the sidelines there jumping in to give him a pat on the back. Great play there. Just read that ball, undercut the route, and an excellent return to boot. That is an incredible play there for the Knights. Great way to end your season.
Ball sits at the 8-yard line, and we'll see if Hempfield decides to do anything with it, or if they will end it. But regardless, they know that they have done it. They have ended a perfect season, 7-0.
Coach Wogman calling a timeout, bringing the whole team in.
I think there's going to be a message here.
And I can hear Wogman from here. He's a very loud, booming voice. He's asking, did everybody get in yet? Is there anybody who didn't get in yet? Trying to get everybody on this team some playing time.
Yeah.
It'd be very difficult to do with a team this large.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. But, yeah, that just goes to show you the kind of person Wogman is.
Yes.
And in this situation, he wants to get everybody in. He knows that everybody's had a role in this team. Everybody's contributed to this seven-win season for the junior high team. And maybe they got one more touchdown left in them.
Yes.
Before this season comes to a finish.
Yeah, so you get everybody to play, and that's just good memories for the guys. More likely they're going to come out again next year for the varsity squad.
Yeah, either for the varsity squad or they'll be back on the junior high team for the 7th and 8th graders that are already a part of it. And this crowd, they are getting a nice ovation. Giving a nice ovation. All right, let's see. Cody Garrison at quarterback trying to get warmed up. Let's see. In the backfield is Stewart. Garris looking left, fires, end zone, and it goes back the other way.
That could be going the distance.
That may go the distance. And Stewart saves what may have been a touchdown off the interception. The pick, I believe, by number 5, Sonny Callahan. So Hempfield tried to put the cherry on top, and instead it backfires a little bit. They were going for Cody Campbell there, and he got beat to the punch by Callahan.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to throw a fade route there. Just couldn't quite get enough air and enough distance on that ball. Typically, you want to throw that ball to the back corner of the end zone. Kind of just let it up for grabs, a 50-50 ball, and the defender got there first.
Can't tell you how many times I've done that in Madden. But nonetheless, it's a bit frustrating, but Garris just tried to put it in there, and if it worked, it would have looked really good. But nice job reading it there by Callahan. And now this is a bit of a prolonged end of this game. We've got 13 seconds left on the clock, and now Central with a chance maybe to get one last score of their own before the end of the season.
So no, it would be a great confidence builder for this Manheim Central squad to punch this ball in the end zone before this season's over.
Yeah.
Just as we spoke about, Hempfield trying to get everybody in, create some good memories here. Manheim Central, if they could punch this ball in right as their season ends, that would be some good memories for them.
No doubt.
Help continue the excellence of their program.
Yeah, and it has been an excellent program to this point. Both teams have a lot of optimism in the future with teams like, with freshman junior high teams like this.
That's just great programs are built all the way down from the seniors in high school all the way to the youngest 6-year-olds playing in midget football. And a big step of that is freshman football. Both of these teams have had very good freshman teams in the past.
All right, Harbaugh in, got 2 backs. No, actually, that's Hahn in.
Trick
And
play
now they'll
here.
try a trick play of their own down the field, and he just overshot Seipel. That was Rocco Doherty. Why not pull out all the stops? I mean, you got nothing to lose at this point, 6 seconds left. And, well, they got time for one more play.
Yeah, no point in saving a trick play for a later time. This is it for these teams. You mentioned there are no playoffs in freshman football.
Nope. Yep, this is it. Season is 6 seconds away from coming to its final conclusion. And Central will get the last chance. Wouldn't Hempfield love to punctuate this season with a turnover? Let's see. Zach Hahn.
Won't be surprised to see a hook and ladder, or maybe a lot of laterals
Just
here.
something.
Might as well go
Why
for
not?
broke on this play.
Hahn throws deep down the field, and he overshoots his man, Seipel. And with that, it's game over. And the Hempfield Black Knights, the junior Black Knights, have finished off a perfect 7-0 season.
And Manheim Central's coach is very unhappy.
Well,
Looked like that clock stopped with 7/10 of a second to go, and then started again unprovoked. Even though they're not going to win this game, they want those 7/10 back.
Well, let's see if they give it to him.
Logman's simple message, one play, don't let them score.
That's awesome. Yep, they put 7, well, they're going to put a little bit of time back on the clock for just one play. That's awesome, Coach Wagaman.
Coach Wagaman,
keeping it simple.
unhappy.
Keeping it simple, all right.
This is kind of an act of grandstanding a little bit if you're Manheim Central. You could just let this game go. You're not going to win this game. If Coach Wagaman says, you want to play ball? Okay, we're going to play some ball.
Well, hey,
Tell his men, don't let them score.
You know, it's the end of their season, too. Well, let's see. Now the refs said, made the decision, game is over. So we thought we had one
very
play.
stern message to his players, don't say a word. Very good advice there. Sorry, Kasey.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hard to step over you like that.
Yeah. So a bit of a wacky ending to this one, but regardless, it's an ending nonetheless. And a 7-0 season for Hempfield, and now their players getting hyped. That's how it ends. What a season it's been for the junior high Black Knights. 7-0. And everybody getting hyped up as they should. Ben, final thoughts on what we saw tonight. What a great performance these Black Knights put in.
It's a great effort by Hempfield. Their offensive line did a great job. Running back Grant Hoover went off tonight. And even though they turned the ball over, their defense was up to the challenge, got all the stops they needed to tonight. For Manheim Central, not the way you envision ending this season, but that's the nature of this game. Half the teams are going to end their season with a loss. These kids have nothing to hang their heads about. They had a great season.
Ben, I think there's a lot of enthusiasm and optimism to be taken into these next year. They'll be sophomores, they'll be on the varsity team, but they make one final memory tonight as part of the freshman squad, and what a night. It wasn't a beautiful night, but it didn't need to be for Hempfield to finish it off with a win. For producer Lance Kim, my colleague Ben Marinas, I'm Kasey Kreider saying so long. You've been watching Hempfield Junior High football for the Black Knights. A perfect season comes to an end, 7-0. The Black Knights finish it off tonight against Manheim Central.